so many frustrations with employees. Why can't they just do things the way that I would do them? Well, maybe they don't know how you would do them. Good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Thomas Joyner with Business on Purpose. So, the past few weeks, I have worked tirelessly. I've set up weekly team meetings and trained local business owners on our process for that. The funny thing is we always get the same objections. Thomas, we've tried it in the past and it doesn't really work. We're sorry. It's just not for us. But you see, most team meetings are miserable. They're boring, they're basically pointless, and they go on for way too long. They don't accomplish what they should accomplish. And worst of all, there's no follow-up. So, what should a team meeting look like? What makes it worthwhile and game-changing for your business? Well, 5 simple things. Number 1, a written agenda. If you don't write it down, it doesn't exist. And here's what writing things down shows your team. It shows them that you've prepared, shows them this is a legit meeting, gives them a predictable set of items that they know they will be asked about. Write out what you want to cover at your team meeting. Second thing, if you know anything about BOP, you know big wins. We do it at every single meeting, right? It stands for begin in gratitude. It's simple, but it helps make you feel known and seen. Gives it this kind of personal touch in a meeting that normally feels all about business. But it gives you a rare insight into your team's life that you don't just get when you kind of rush straight into business. Do it every week. Big wins. Third thing, follow up from last week's action items. Nothing is more frustrating than being asked to do something and then never getting any feedback. No, this is your chance to hold your team accountable. You don't need to list everything your team needs to do, every line item, email, person they need to call, but what are the main focus points from last meeting and how did they go? Fourth thing, next week's action items or action items for the near future. Again, if your team knows they will be asked about them at the next meeting, they can plan accordingly and execute the plan. Give them the things to focus on and let them know what you will talk about next week. It's that valuable. And then at the end, the thing that gets left out every single time, 5 to 10 minutes of training on one of your systems or processes. This is where you get creative. Pick one process each week and train the entire team. Let everyone poke holes in the workflow or give feedback on things. Businesses kind of want to do these day-long or weekend multi-day training retreats, and while that's great, your team retains less of it than you actually think. But if you can build 5 to 10 minutes of training into each team meeting, 52 weeks a year, that's a lot of training throughout the course of the year, served up to your team in bite-sized chunks they can digest and be held accountable for. So, back to my clients. I've had 2 try their first team meetings in the last 2 to 3 weeks. The first one came back and said it was one of the best things they've done this year. He picked an easy process. How to set up your service truck every day. What are the things you don't leave the shop without? You know what? They had no idea what they were responsible for having on their truck every single day. They had a lot of stuff on there. They had great things on there, but they didn't have a detailed list. And so they grew as a team. So next time something happens, the business owner isn't driving out to them on the job site, or they aren't getting paid hourly to drive back to the office, then back to the work site for supplies. Their trucks and their employees are ready for whatever comes. Guys, that changes your business. That gives you freedom from the chaos. We say that all the time. Isn't that what you want? Freedom from the chaos? And when inevitably one of your team members fails in an area, hey, it's okay. But we talked about this. You are trained on our process. There's radical accountability that brings that up the performance of your team every single day. So what's stopping you from having a team meeting? Is it the thought of, oh, well, they just don't work for us? I'm sorry, guys, that excuse doesn't hold water. It's not true. Build out your process, implement it, and watch your team grow. I can't wait to hear some stories of your next successful, maybe your first successful team meeting. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube and podcast, My Business on Purpose. You can search that there. So much stuff on there. If you haven't checked it out since January, jump on there. Man, we got a lot of new content out there. So hope you have a great weekend, and please let me know how your next or first team meeting goes. Thanks. Take care.